Cambodia is a land of wonders. This unique kingdom combines the ancient and the modern, monks and businessmen. The people of Cambodia, or the Khmer, are resilient men and women who, after many years of war and unrest, have become welcoming hosts to countless tourists who come to visit Cambodia. Angkor Wat is one of the main sites here. This is the largest temple complex in the world. The intriguing ancient constructions remind us of the Buddhist and Hindu roots and paint a vivid picture of the past. Cambodia is still a developing nation, and the Khmer people are hopeful for a brighter future. A future filled with hope, love, and prosperity. Tim Maddox worked in Cambodia in the early 1990s. As he finished his assignment, God impressed his heart to stay here and establish a missionary training center.
The way God was speaking to me in such a sort of an audible manner and outlining His plan for our lives, it was just so clear that it had to happen. And I don't actually remember thinking, well, what happens if Wendy doesn't come on board with this? I just spilled it all out to her as the Lord was saying to me.
Tim and Wendy had two small children, 4-year-old Shannon and 7-year-old Caleb. The plan was to leave everything behind, become self-supporting missionaries, and move to the rice fields. Tim's vision was to dedicate his life to help the Khmer people rebuild and prosper. But what would happen once their small savings were gone? Was God really calling them to service in such difficult conditions?
I was shocked, I was confused. I was like rebellious, I guess. I didn't want to accept that this is what God wanted. It just seemed all too strange.
Tim and Wendy loved their children and worried about their future. There was a lot at stake.
The calling that God gave us was an incarnational calling, to live like the people. And we were moving out into a rural village where at the time, many of the people, they lived in little houses made of bush poles and palm leaves and bamboo and grass. And so that's the kind of house we moved into to begin with. And as we contemplated this, moving from our large brick house that we were living in the town out to this little thatched house, it was difficult.
Wendy had a lot of questions in her mind. Unlike Tim, she did not hear a clear calling from God. She didn't see wide open doors or a smooth way ahead. She was uncertain how long they could pursue their missionary endeavor. But suddenly, something caused her to completely change her perspective.
But God sent a letter with some money from someone who we didn't know anyone by that name. It was like an anonymous kind of name that had been put on there. And that was before we even needed the money. And so God showed me that He could provide before we even needed.
Now, with the assurance from God, Tim and Wendy used their life savings to purchase 42 acres of land in Cambodia. And in 1996, they began developing a training center, a church, and later a school and an orphanage.
It's been an amazing journey, just seeing God work so much through the last 16 years of being here. And now it's just so wonderful to see kids growing up, knowing God, having hope, having a future.
The campus now houses a training center for missionaries who are sent throughout Cambodia and Asia, a media center, an orphanage with nearly 200 children who have no other family, and kindergarten to 12th grade school with 350 students who attend Monday through Friday. Besides the regular school activities, the students here learn English, music, media, and most importantly, service to others. The school can afford some paid staff, but it relies significantly on volunteers to maintain the institution. Here, only 10% of the students are able to pay the yearly tuition of $90. The orphanage children receive free education. Staff kids also attend free, and many little ones from the village study for free as well. They would simply not be able to attend school otherwise. This community is thankful for these rare opportunities, and Cambodia as a country benefits from loving parents like Tim and Wendy. As Sabbath comes, the children and the local villagers pause to reflect on God's many gifts. They come together to sing songs and fellowship together. What they see and learn here brings heaven a bit closer to home. And many of them have accepted Jesus as their only Savior. Please pray for missionaries around the world, people like Tim and Wendy, who dedicate their time, energy, and lives to serve others as Jesus did.
អរគុណដែលព្រះយេស៊ូវនៅតែនិយាយជាមួយយើង